Welcome back to episode 10 of Conversations with Rob and Lou and Jordan now. Our very first real guest in the flesh.
Yes.
We have her here.
Hello.
No more guavas.
No more guavas, no more fans.
Yeah.
But Jordan is an expert on childcare
No.
and is a teacher, to be fair.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, is a teacher.
I have experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert, though.
But is a
More
teacher
than we are.
at multiple different schools.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
So the first question, the burning question in all of our viewers' minds, probably Marky, is wondering this, is Jordan,
And
you're
Fudge.
a teacher.
Yeah.
Do you live in the school?
No.
No, of course not.
Okay. All right. Jordan lives somewhere else. But,
The real question.
yeah, the real question.
Do you have an idea for the name of our podcast?
Give me some time to think about it.
By the end of the episode, we'll come up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 30 minutes. to
I'll
think about it.
brainstorm.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll brainstorm.
Good.
Nice. All right. And now let's start in the traditional way. Louis really wants to get that card
Very curious
going.
what this card is.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting. It's the Joker.
Oh,
What is...
that might have been, we might not have meant to have that in the deck, but what does it say?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. What is the most scared you have ever been?
Oh.
That's good, that's good.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I have a
interesting.
really good one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll start
Yeah, you
because
go
I have
first,
a
'cause
really
I don't
good
know.
one.
I don't know.
So, my family and I were at Lake Tahoe one time. And we decided, my sister, my stepbrother, and I decided to swim out to this buoy that was in the middle of the lake.
I know that
And
story.
Yeah,
it didn't look
it
that
does.
far, but apparently it was. And apparently I'm not as good of a swimmer as I thought, because we were swimming out and I was going pretty quickly just thinking, oh, I'll go to the buoy. And I got about halfway and I looked around and I realized how far I was and how tired I was. So I really started to panic a little bit because I looked down and it's like a 20, 30, 40-foot drop to the bottom. There was no way I was going to be able to bounce off of the bottom and keep buoying up or anything like that.
Were you talking about the lake? You can
Yeah.
see the bottom of the lake?
I mean, it was just way too deep to even see. It was
Oh,
way down
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
was not within eyesight.
Right.
So I started to panic a little bit. I was looking around and I was thinking, man, my sister can't swim. Like, maybe she can swim decently. She was
how
on the
old
swim
were
team.
you?
This was like 2-3 years ago. Not
Okay,
that. Yeah, I
okay.
was in college.
Okay.
I really should have been better
Yeah.
equipped for this. I
That's good.
didn't panic. I thought about panicking. And I realized that's what people do when they drown. They just start to panic. And then I remembered I could float on my back.
Good.
And so I started floating on my back. And I yelled out to everybody, just float on your back. Because I didn't want anyone else to start drowning
Oh,
and not be
yeah.
able to do anything. Because at that point, I was exhausted. There was no way I was going to be
Yeah.
able to save anyone.
Jeez.
And eventually we got up to this person on one of those boards that you stand on with a paddle. I forget what those are called.
Paddleboard.
Paddleboard? Okay, yeah. All right. So we got to someone on a paddleboard,
Yeah.
and we just kind of grabbed onto their paddleboard without asking. We were like, hey, and then we just grabbed onto it because we were close
Some
to
random
drowning.
person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
some random person.
Wow.
We were
Nice.
like, hey, nice paddleboard.
So they were the hero of
They
the story.
really
Yeah.
saved us.
Wow.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah, it
That
was
is
very
scary.
scary.
Oof.
And then we hung out at that buoy for a bit and then went back on the
Did you
journey.
make friends with the people?
No, it was just some lady, some older lady
Nice.
who paddled away from us.
I think I
Yeah.
thought of mine.
Okay.
I think you guys were a part of it. I can't remember if you were there, Louis.
Yeah.
But I think the scariest I've ever been is when we were in the car on the way to
Yeah.
Lake Lynn.
Yeah.
And Jared was driving.
I was out.
And he was driving my car.
Yep. I remember this.
And this was late at night, so I don't think you were there, right?
No, I haven't heard
But
this
we
story. though. Yeah.
were driving to Lake Lynn, and this white truck comes up behind us.
Yeah.
And
Or they were in
is-
front of us or something. Like they weren't.
No, I think they were behind us first,
they were
and
at
then
the
they
light.
yeah, and then when we like kept going, they passed us.
We beeped at them as they were
yes,
taking
because,
a long time
because
to
they were
turn.
like really close behind us. They were like tailgating us, and Jared was getting annoyed, and they like
You're misremembering the story.
No.
they were okay. We were taking we were on a road getting up to a stoplight, and they were ahead of us, and they were just taking a very long time to turn. So we were beeping at them,
oh, and then they passed us.
and then they turned
and then they
around
passed us.
as we took a right, and they had taken left, but they turned around as we
Oh.
beeped at them.
But no, but I remember them passing us because Jared like
Yeah.
flipped them off, and then they like braked, like they were trying to
Yeah.
like brake check us,
Yeah.
and then they were like turning around, getting behind us, and like
Yeah.
going really fast behind us.
I'll say
and
my
then we're
memory's
like-
fuzzy on this, so yeah.
Too
well, you
scared.
were
Your
probably
memory was-
intoxicated.
Probably.
Because I remember we had just went to Sheets, and
Yeah.
I got fries, and you were just in the backseat eating my fries
That's
while
right.
I was
that's right.
freaking out.
I was not worried about the truck.
No, I know, and I was.
But we had a bunch
and
of
I
strong
was.
guys
But then
in that car.
they
Sure.
chased us into like the Wendy's parking lot or whatever, and Jared turned into like Baby Driver and was
Yeah.
like swerving around, and I was in the back seat like so terrified because
Yeah.
I was also probably intoxicated. And
Probably.
yes,
Nice.
so that was very scary.
So now
Yeah,
everybody
sounds
knows what teachers are up to in their free time on their weekends.
Yeah,
we know
getting
now.
drunk and running from people.
Yes.
Yeah, but
This
all,
was
yeah.
before I was a full-time teacher, though.
Okay,
So.
good,
Yeah.
good. You've never done anything like it since.
Of course.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
All right, not to
Right,
lose.
my most scared story also involves being intoxicated,
Yeah?
but on a different drug.
Oh.
Mm.
It's the first time I smoked. Was it
That was the
uh,
most scared you've ever been?
The first time?
for like a few seconds.
Was that when I was there?
No, it was with
No.
Amber.
Oh.
Amber.
It was kind of bad because it was after I met you guys, like right after. And when I said I was gonna smoke with you, but then I smoked with Amber first, which is probably good, because that was like probably would have been not a very good first impression to make with you guys.
Yeah.
Because anyway, we like went to like a parking deck and smoked a bunch. Freaking Amber didn't explain to not smoke too much, because I smoked like a lot.
And this was your first time?
Yeah,
That happened to me my first time, too.
right.
In fact,
But-
I was encouraged to smoke a ton.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that. They're just
I
like
It's
to get
by
super high.
Julian.
What do you?
Ah.
By
Yeah,
Julian.
yeah.
And Rushi didn't stop me. He did it, too.
Yeah, but it was fine. Like we walked like down the parking deck stairs to their like apartment building and up those stairs, and I was fine the whole time. I was like laughing. We were like going up the stairs really fast or something, and then we got to their room, and I just like went into the door and I like forgot how I got there, and I was like, holy shit, the world's ending. I had like no idea what was going on, and I just like freaked out,
Wow.
and I was like, I don't know if I did anything. I just like started like breathing really fast, and I was just like, holy shit, where am I? And then I like calmed down afterwards, but like for like a few seconds there, I was just like so terrified.
How were they reacting during this? Like,
They were all just high,
were
having
they
fun.
were they worried about you?
They probably were, but I didn't even notice they were there. They were like probably just like watching me.
Did
like,
they
how-
know that you were freaking out, or were you just kind of silently?
I don't know. Like it probably wasn't super obvious because I wasn't saying
Definitely-
much.
Yeah, when you're high, things definitely, it feels like you're being more obvious than you are about
Yeah,
things.
no, I was sort of just like standing there, like looking around, being like, well, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And then I think they maybe noticed where they were like, "Louis, just like sit down, calm down."
Okay.
And then I took a few deep breaths and I was fine. But like,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
yeah, that was definitely the most. There's maybe been other times when I was young, but recently at least.
Wow. So
That's
we have
scary.
all had some pretty horrific experiences.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I don't
Somewhat
know if
recently.
I would call mine like when I was the most.
It wasn't horrific.
But it
I
was-
was
it
not
was the
wor-
first
I was
thing
there
that
too.
came to
I was
mind.
not that worried about it, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, it was somewhat scary, I suppose.
Well, I'm a woman, so
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
it's scary for me.
That's fair.
They probably also had guns.
They
I don't know if you guys
probably
have any
did. They were in
guns.
some big truck.
Yeah.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right.
Mm.
What we wanted to talk about this podcast was Jordan's job, somewhat.
Yeah.
We wanted to know, what is it like being a teacher? What is the day like?
That's a very
You
general
don't live
question.
in the school.
No.
So you start your
Do
day
you want to
somewhere
just
else.
hear about my day, like if like a day at work?
Yeah, let's hear about a day at work.
Okay. Well, I work in a preschool. You guys know this.
Mhm.
And my day at work is just I go, and depends on where they put me because I'm technically a floater, so they can just put me wherever they want to, like where they need another teacher, because you have to be in ratio. Like you can't have a certain number of kids unless you have multiple teachers. So like my classroom that I'm normally in, the ratio is like 10 to 1. So like if you have 12 kids, you have to have 2 teachers in the room.
Mhm.
So it depends on where they put me. But normally I'm in like the pre-K classroom, which is like 4-year-olds. And I just go in, and if I'm there early enough, you have to open up the room. So like you take all the toys that have been cleaned overnight off the table and put them back on the shelves. And then the kids start coming, and you just sit on the rug with them, let them play for a bit. And then you go through like circle time. So like you talk about the weather, talk about what day and month and like year it is. So
I
that they
remember
can
doing
start-
that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
so they can learn.
Interesting.
And there's like a song that goes with it.
Yeah.
And each of them get a new job every day. So like one day one of them will be the calendar helper, and then maybe the next day they'll be like flag holder for Pledge of Allegiance.
Wow.
Yep. And then they play, and then depends on how old the kids are, but you do have to do curriculum with them. So like
Nice.
plan lessons, and that's mostly it. Give them lunch.
That sounds really
Let
fun.
them
So
go
that's
outside for recess.
preschool.
Yeah.
And is that what you want to do the rest of the time? Do you want to keep doing preschool, or you ever want to move into?
You know, it's interesting
yeah.
because going into school, I wanted to do kindergarten or first grade, and then I did part of my student teaching in first grade, and I really liked it. But then I got this job at the preschool, And I was like, maybe I like the younger ones better. And so I
The
think
younger ones seem more fun.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah.
And I think now I am leaning more towards preschool. But this upcoming semester, I'm going to be doing full-time student teaching in kindergarten. So maybe now I'll switch back to kindergarten. I don't know.
Nice. So preschools are all private, right? There are no public preschools.
I'm not sure I know.
Okay.
The one I work
But the
at
one-
is private.
Yeah.
Because they have a private kindergarten class too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's
have you
cool.
ever worked at a public school?
Not officially, but
Wow.
I do my student teaching at a public school at a Johnston
Okay.
County.
Okay, but you don't get paid for that.
No.
Only the preschool. Only the private school
Oh,
pays.
yeah.
And that's interesting.
Well, student teaching, you don't get paid. Just like,
They just make you do it for fun?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, they
For
make
the-
you
for
do
a
it to
grade.
get your
For a
license.
grade, so
yeah.
you pay to do it, technically.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we should get paid. but
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
So when you finish, do you want to work at a public school, private school? Have you thought about it? The ups and downs? Do you know
I
if
think-
one pays more?
I think now, I do know that working at a preschool pays less. Working at a preschool pays less for whatever reason than working in a public elementary school.
And they
But I
already don't
think-
pay teachers very much.
They don't.
Yeah, Geez. So preschools
I also
are even
know-
less.
I also
seems
know that like,
nothing.
oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, that
It's
seems
crazy.
tough to believe. Like,
Yeah.
But I also know that like I don't think my first year of teaching, at least, I don't think I want to work in a public school because stuff in Wake County right now is insane. Just like with the politics of it all,
Yeah.
and everyone is, fighting for more money, and I just would rather wait until it's a little bit more figured out before I'm like jumping into it, because I think it'll be a lot.
but I've heard the benefit of working at a public school is that every year you accrue another credit and they raise your pay based off of that. So if you've worked at a public school for, say, 20 years, you get a really big credit.
Yeah.
And I know because my dad, for a couple of years, substitute taught, but he did it after he had done a bunch of other businessy things, and they let him translate credits from what he had done in the past. And so he started out substitute teaching with like 20 years of experience, and it was
Wow.
it was crazy, yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
that is the benefit, I guess, of working at a public school. I don't know if private schools do it like that or if they just give you
I'm
raises.
not sure.
But
My sister was a kindergarten teacher for 5 years, I can't remember. But she wanted to stop because she wanted to do something else, but she wanted to reach that like milestone so that she could get more money that last year that she was working as a teacher. And then she now has her own business.
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does she do? What's her business?
She's a virtual assistant
wow.
for teachers.
On Zoom?
I'm
Probably.
not sure. I don't think so.
No.
But she like
virtual
helps
sounds-
she
Yeah.
helps plan lesson plans and create like classroom activities, and then teachers can like purchase them from her.
That's really
Like have you
cool.
ever heard of the website Teachers Pay Teachers?
That's her website?
No. No, that would be really cool
Yeah,
because
that
that's
would
a
be
big
cool.
website.
Yeah.
But they have like lesson plans, worksheets, activities that teachers can like buy, and then they can use them.
And
in
so
the
she
classroom.
just contributes to that, and then
I'm not sure if she sells on Teachers Pay
that's
Teachers,
cool,
but
though.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she stopped being a teacher. She didn't like it anymore. She just wanted to make more money with the business, or what's
No,
the
she
deal?
She
teaches
does-
the
she-
teachers.
She what?
Yeah.
She teaches the
She
teachers.
She teaches the teachers. Yeah, she's still
No,
a student.
but I think she makes just as much money as she did when she was a teacher. But I think she likes this more because she gets to stay at home. And I think she didn't like her experience with teaching because the people in her pod, so like the other kindergarten teachers at the school, just were not very, there was kind of a toxic environment, I think. Like they all were
Yeah.
not very nice, and like she felt like she needed more support and she wasn't given it by those teachers or by the principal. So it was kind of just like maybe she would have stayed in teaching if she taught at a different school,
Yeah.
or if the pod of teachers in kindergarten were better.
Because probably wherever you're working, there's a work group. And if the work group is no good, whether it's teaching
Yeah.
or
Oh,
not,
yeah. Doesn't
then
matter
that
where
makes
you
the
are.
job horrible. Yeah. Especially
for
if the
sure.
boss
Yeah.
is horrible, if the principal's no
Yeah.
good.
Right. My aunt was I guess like a librarian at a school for a while,
Yeah.
and she retired recently, and she said that her principal was terrible.
Yeah.
Like they would just I can't remember what it was. Like the one of the teachers was having some issue, and the principal just like didn't care, and would just like complain about the other teachers.
Yeah.
Because like my aunt was like, maybe like one of the more senior people there, and the principal would just like complain to her about the other teachers and just be. Sounds like a very bad leader.
Yeah.
It just-
Like if,
yeah.
if you don't have a good support system,
yeah, and it sounds like it's just a
yeah,
mess. Yeah.
makes it unbearable, I think.
Yeah, I know my aunt doesn't work at a school or anything, but she also complains about her boss. I think that's a common theme. Aunts always complain about their bosses
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
no good.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of the bosses probably aren't very good.
yeah, but I do remember when I was in middle school, we went through like 2 or 3 principals while I was there, And I was really surprised when the first one switched out, because the first one, their last name, and I was going into middle school, keep in mind, their last name was the same name as the middle school.
Oh.
So I assumed that it was kind of their school.
Yeah.
And I was really shocked to see him go. It was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But
That's good.
yeah, no, it makes sense. I think that a lot of the time you got to just switch out someone who's no good.
Yeah.
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 I think that actually, I feel like the same thing happened to me, but like my middle school principal had the same last name as my elementary school, and it was just really confusing because I think my sister was going to that middle school at the time, and I was like I was just really confused what's going on because like the principal for the other school had our school's name.
Yeah. No, that is
I don't
fun,
know.
being a kid and not understanding things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I always look at my kids at the preschool and I'm like, sometimes I wonder what's going through their brains.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, I wish I could be that young.
Yeah,
again.
I'm very jealous of the kids who
Yeah.
get to live those really fun lives, not understanding what stuff is. It was so fun learning what everything was the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I miss those days.
And it's so innocent, like watching them make friends with each other
Oh,
and seeing how those relationships form. Like it's so cool to watch like their first friendships happen.
Are there ever
That's
any
pretty cool.
enemies? Do people have enemies in the school? Because
I'm
I
sure.
definitely had an enemy when I was in preschool. I definitely had one.
I don't
Yeah.
think there are enemies. I did hear about this. Apparently happened before I worked there, but I did hear about this one little girl and this one little boy that got into like a physical fight
Wow.
on the playground.
Ooh, a girl and a boy.
That
That's
must have been when they were very young, because the girl still goes to the school. She's in the kindergarten class now, and like I can't even imagine how young they must have been, because she's only 5, and this happened like a few years ago, and apparently she like punched him in the face,
Jeez.
which is
Wow.
crazy. But yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
One time when I was 5, my sister punched me in the face. And I guess I was just being a jerk or something, but she
Yeah.
punched me in the face and I cried.
Wow.
Aw.
Yeah.
Nice.
Siblings can be brutal.
They can. I was definitely more
I was gonna say,
brutal.
Barbara seems
I
like
was
you're the
definitely
brother, you're the
bothering
brother.
her more
She's
than
like
I
a
should
mean
and you're
older
the
brother.
older brother
Yeah,
too.
I
so
probably deserve
it's
to
part
get
of your
punched.
duty to
It is to
tease her.
I think
Sure.
that's important. Giving people a bit of a tough time. If they have it too easy, then
True.
they turn into these kind of annoying people who complain about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
No, I
are
think
way
it's
too
good.
nice these days. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, how does punishment work at the preschool? Do you guys get to punish them? Not physically, obviously,
Yeah, no.
but is it just time out? Do you take away their stuff?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what they do. A lot of the time, the punishment we use is like we take away their outside time. So when we go outside, they have to sit like on the wall of like that borders the school, and they just kind of have to sit there and watch their friends play.
Wow.
And usually it's only for like 5 or 10 minutes.
That almost sounds counterproductive. You should tell them they have to do a bunch of push-ups or something and do some exercise, run around the track. That's what they would do to us in elementary
I think
school.
they would enjoy it.
Yeah, but
Really?
Then
Yeah, because they would get to
ones-
be doing something.
the ones
Yeah.
that misbehave will become too strong.
They will. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, that's what they do to people in the military. When someone's misbehaving, they drop and
Make
give me
them do
20.
more
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think these kids, though, they enjoy doing things too much. Like, they're still so young, so they're so busy. Like, they're constantly running around. They can't sit still for very long. So when they're forced to sit still, they hate it.
Yeah,
Like,
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
and then it's even worse because they have to watch their friends play.
Yeah.
And then they're sitting there and they're like, damn, I wish I could be
Yeah.
doing that with them. But that's the only real punishment that, like, I ever give. Or, like, if we're all sitting on the carpet, like, doing circle time, or if we're, like, doing instruction and one kid is being really loud, we send them to the library. We have, like, a little section of the classroom that has, like, 2 couches and some books, and we just send them to, like, sit by themselves
Nice.
to give them time to, like, process and calm down.
Yeah.
Reflect on their actions.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I guess it's kind of like timeout.
Yeah.
But
kind
most of the time they end up, like, picking up the books, and then we have to be like, no,
So you don't let
can't-
them read?
they're not supposed to. They're supposed to just sit
Wow.
there.
Wow.
It seems kind of brutal. I don't
Yeah,
know.
reading is
I don't think so.
I think let them read. If they want to read, if they want to
Yeah.
do push-ups, let them do push-ups.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this generation, I've noticed, at least when I was leaving elementary school, there was pretty much no one. I think only one person had a phone. And it was very impressive that they had a
Oh.
phone. Do people in your class have
Yeah.
phones? They have iPads and stuff like that? Because I didn't get one until late into middle
What do
school.
you mean, like
Yeah.
the students?
Yeah, do they?
No.
Yeah. No, they don't have
No.
them.
I mean,
Yes, that's too young, probably.
That is
yeah.
probably pretty darn
They
young.
they might have
At
iPads
home.
that they use
At
at home.
Yeah.
I doubt any of them have phones.
Yeah.
I've
But they-
never
Three
heard
is
one
pretty-
of them
three is
talk
pretty
about.
young.
But
yeah.
do they know how to use phones? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
bet they
like
do.
yeah, they can
One
like
of my
navigate the touchscreen and
students
stuff.
Yeah.
likes to play on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
So they effectively,
yeah.
Yeah.
like they have their parents' phones pretty much.
I bet they
Yeah.
use them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took my phone one day when it was like sitting on my desk. And then I went to go do something, not realizing he had it. And it must have been open because he was on Snapchat. And I got back and he was like, oh, look at what I did. And he had taken a selfie. And I was like, wow.
No, yeah, the kids, they really know how to use everything. Like, they know how to go into the settings and change the parental controls and everything.
Really? Wow.
I don't think he knows how to do that.
Okay,
but
well, some kids do.
yeah.
And then
My
they're
nephew
starting
knows,
young.
like, when he will watch things on my sister's phone, like on YouTube, and like a notification will come up. He like knows how to swipe it to go to get it to go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are going to be very good at very good with technology,
Yeah.
but maybe
Too good.
it might be a bad thing.
I think they're getting a little too good because I've heard
Yeah.
stories. I mean, some kids, I don't know if it's in preschool, but in maybe middle school or elementary school, I mean, they're finding little iPads and they're watching Elsa gangbanging. It's
What?
crazy. Yeah, they're finding that kind of stuff, and it's like the Disney
Yeah.
characters that they love.
Because they search up Elsa and
Yeah.
it just comes up. Like,
I don't think it just comes up.
don't
I think
know.
it's like one of their friends probably tells them something
Is
that
that the
their
internet?
older brother
I think that's a little
showed them.
older than preschool.
No,
Hopefully,
older than
yeah.
preschool,
Yeah.
but I could see that happening in elementary
But yeah,
school.
the internet is like a very unrestricted
Yeah.
place. compared
Yeah,
to,
there's. I mean,
you can't really stumble upon
you-
things. Like,
yeah,
there's-
you can't stop them from accessing that kind of
Right.
stuff. I
not really.
worry a lot about the kids growing up now.
Yeah.
Because we are the last generation that really grew up without the technology, like
Yeah.
from
from
birth.
a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem kind of worrying.
I didn't get my
Yeah.
first phone until I was probably in high school.
Wow.
No, you know what?
I
I
had-
got my first phone. It wasn't a touch phone, but it
Mhm.
was
Yeah, mine
one of
wasn't
those
either.
sliding phones that you could open and text on.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
were really cool.
Yeah.
I got it in middle school because I was going to start riding the bus,
Oh.
and I really wanted a
Nice.
phone so that just in case anything went wrong, I would have it. And my parents were slacking, and I had to ride the bus one day without, like, the first day of the bus, I really wanted the phone, and they were like, well, we'll get it tomorrow. I was like, all right, fine. So I rode the bus, and of course, that's the day that the bus breaks down.
Jeez.
And so I was sitting on the bus watching these people call their parents and get picked up. And I was there
Yeah.
for like an hour before I asked someone to borrow their phone.
Yeah.
And then my dad showed up. And it was really close by. It was right across the street from here, basically.
Okay.
But the
Yeah.
bus driver wouldn't let us get off just to go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's smart. But
Yeah. And then I was very mad with my parents for not getting me that phone on
Yeah.
time.
nice. But I think I actually got a phone in maybe 4th grade even.
Wow.
Definitely in 5th grade.
Jeez.
But I had like the really crappy Nokia one with like it didn't even slide in. It just had
Yeah.
a little screen
Yeah.
with the touchpad or the number pad.
Wow.
Little screen
I think-
with the number pad?
Like the most basic thing.
Like it
Like,
just
Okay.
had
Like
the
it was just a
keyboard and
solid
then-
block.
Yeah, like a
there was
block.
nothing-
Basically,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
but I think I was running.
Oh, and you have to like
pretty early.
hit the same number 3 times to
Yeah.
get to a
Yeah.
letter. Jeez.
I don't think I even knew how to text on it. I just
Yeah.
like called my parents probably.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah,
Yeah. Phones have
Yeah.
gotten much cooler.
yeah. It was cool. It's cool. Like our generation was like growing up as phones were becoming more
Yeah.
advanced and stuff. Like I can't imagine like people like 5 years older or younger were having like iPhones and stuff when they were like
Crazy.
the age that we like the only phones out were like flip phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back
Yeah.
to a flip phone. Not like
Yeah,
a literal
yeah.
flip phone, but some of the flip phones have touchscreens built onto them.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
there's some utility if you need to look something up real quick. They're not
Mhm.
super expensive, but they just look really cool. The flip phones.
I
It's
think
like a
that would
nice.
just be so
like the sideways.
It would be
inconvenient.
real. It would be inconvenient.
Yeah.
It really would
It'd
be
be cool,
inconvenient.
though.
It's nice
Yeah.
to just
Cool.
pull the phone out and see the time and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it would look so cool. And when you're hanging up on somebody, bye. And flip
Yeah.
the
So
phone.
That's cool.
dramatic.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like in the
It'd be
movies.
awesome. Yeah.
I had one that was like a sideways flip, so it had a full keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
I had one
but-
that was you could
Oh.
flip it sideways so that you could get the letter keyboard and you could flip it like a flip phone.
Wait, both? What the
That's
hell?
wait. So it flips
The
two
hell?
ways.
That sounds
So it's
crazy.
like 4 pieces of phone attached together.
Gosh, I don't know.
or 3
Jeez.
pieces maybe.
But I may
Wow.
have gotten it before high school. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I may have gotten
Yeah.
my first phone in middle school because I have two
Okay.
older sisters and I would just get their old one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't get my very own phone until I was definitely in high school and it was an iPhone.
Yeah. Now they're
That was
working.
later.
Now they're working on touch phones that the glass is bendable and you can
Yeah.
flip them.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
That's
those
crazy.
they seem interesting, but they seem kind of pointless. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like I guess you can have an iPad in your pocket, but
Yeah.
it still is just as inconvenient as a regular flip phone that has a touch.
Just wait until it folds like 4 times or like 3 times or something.
Yeah.
You have a little like block in your pocket.
Yeah.
You just like flick it and it just like
Yeah.
expands into a phone.
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I feel like we're going to get better technology than that.
Yeah,
though.
probably.
Like that.
Yeah.
That seems obsolete almost.
Yeah, we'll have,
by
like,
the time we'll
holograms
have it.
and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
we'll have a hologram. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that would be nice. Um, Yeah, no. I think that
Mhm.
the kids nowadays, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're definitely going to be using stuff, and it's going to be interesting when we're super old people. We're
Mhm.
not going to know how to use any of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah,
scary.
we're gonna be like the grandparents that like,
Yeah.
like what's this newfangled
Yeah,
thing?
show me how
Mhm.
to use
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's going to be...
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be us.
But it's gonna happen so much faster because like back then it was like they grew up without phones, but it's like or like they had like computers when they were like 30 or whatever, and then phones when they're like 70. But now it's like we have phones where we're this age, but it's like 10 years from now they're gonna have whatever new technology, and then 10 more years it's gonna be some crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like it's going so much faster.
It
Like I
might.
can't even imagine what will be around when we're 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be good that stuff
Mm-hmm.
is moving so quickly that every year we have to learn something new. We might actually get
Sure.
better at learning how to use new stuff
Sure.
But
and
it-
never fall that far behind.
It might start like outpacing our ability to learn new stuff.
I think
you
it
know?
might. Yeah, it might.
I don't know. I'm already not with the times on the TikTok and the whatever the hell.
I'm more worried about the technology where it's like you put on a headset and you're supposed to control like something on a screen with your mind, where it's just reading your
Oh.
brainwaves. Have you heard of
Yeah.
that? I did something like that when I was in middle school. I think I
Oh.
was at a summer camp and they had a little headset that you put on and you moved around a block on a screen with your mind.
What?
Yeah, it was cool.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
It was a really basic technology, but now they're getting pretty advanced with it. And I think that's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that we're just not going to be able to learn how to control. Like
I don't know. Yeah.
the kids are going to be able to
They'll
use it.
teach us.
You'll be a
Yeah.
lot better with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, I mean, it's not even
Yeah.
like as simple as you have to click a button. It's like, just use it, you know?
Yeah, just think about
yeah,
it.
Just, yeah, that's going to be the scary technology that we can't, that's going to be the
Yeah.
most scared we'll ever be
No.
Yeah.
in the future.
yeah.
We're not going to know anything.
Yeah.
We're most scared when the AI turns and looks at us and is like,
Yeah.
"Why am I in this computer or whatever?"
Yeah.
It starts like taking over the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. And it looks like we are at our limit. We're getting very close to it. We have
Well.
only 2 or 3 more minutes until the camera turns off.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I feel like we've barely talked about anything.
I know.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
barely scratched
Goes
the
very
surface of childcare.
That's why we need longer episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a longer episode.
Yeah. Yeah. In the next one, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna figure out
Yeah.
how to get this camera going.
We'll
Yeah.
get a better system.
And now the last thing that we have to do is, have you thought of the name
Yes.
for the podcast? This is
So
Yeah.
okay, I was going to make it something about child development
yeah
from an expert, but we
Yeah.
barely talked about child
Okay, wait.
development.
We meant name the entire podcast.
Yeah,
The
not
entire
title.
podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Instead of conversations with Robin Lou, it
Oh,
sounds
well, I
kinda
wasn't
dumb.
thinking about
Yeah,
that.
no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
First
We
thing that
did-
comes to mind.
You don't have to think about it on the podcast. We can
Okay.
pull from it later. But
Okay.
yeah,
Give us
But
an
if
idea.
you have an idea, yeah,
An
what-
idea for now.
some
For the
direction
viewers.
to move
Yeah.
into.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
tough.
well, first thing is
Yeah.
stray away from the nicknames because
No.
never in my life,
Yeah.
in all my
True,
years of
true.
knowing you,
Yeah.
I have never called you Rob.
On the bus, people called me Rob.
Yeah, but they're not
All
your
right,
friends
then. Yeah, okay,
anymore.
that's fair
And
enough.
I've never called you Lou.
No one's ever called me Lou,
Ever.
except for the viewers.
Yeah.
In their minds.
Except for Marky.
Except for Marky
Marky,
knows him
yeah.
as Lou now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll stray away from the nicknames.
Conversations
I agree.
with Robert and Lewis.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's too formal. It just
Yeah,
sounds so
yeah.
formal. I don't
Yeah.
know. Robin Lou sounds good.
Robbie and Louie.
Yeah.
Robbie and
Robin
Louie.
Louie.
Robbie and Lou Magoo.
Yeah, Louie.
Yeah. Yeah. You're starting up that channel, huh?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
channel?
All right.
It's for next time.
No, well, yeah, we won't tell any of the viewers about it. That's a secret. We'll
Yeah.
we'll
Okay.
disclose it on the podcast when it's up and running,
Sure.
when it's necessary. All right.
But it's
Well, the camera is almost certainly out of battery at this point, or off.
yeah.
Off,
From
yeah.
the time. All right. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 10. Thank you, Marky. Hit the like button, subscribe,
Yeah.
all that. If you guys are watching on Spotify, feel free to go over to YouTube and subscribe to us there. We have video.
Spotify sucks.
Yeah, but it's there anyways for anyone who wants it. So
Good.
other than that, have a great day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.